Hi, Leo. All of you Leos out there, I'm so happy and honored to be reading your 2019 in advance. This reading is a general reading for your sun sign, Leo. But if you are a moon, a rising, an ascendant Leo, you'll want to watch this too. It'll just give you a little bit extra. It'll help detail more towards your year. Okay, now this is a general reading for all Leos, okay? So it's not going to be very specific to you particularly. It can be, but if you're seeing things that are like, no, that just doesn't make sense so far for my year, for what I'm planning for this year, it could just be because you're a Leo sign, but you're something else rising and something else ascendant. It could be because that actual card wasn't really for you, because it's for all Leos. And I mean, like, come on, how many Leos are there, right? Okay, so if you're new to me as a reader, I shuffle before I start recording because it's really hard to shuffle with one hand, but I will cut the deck in front of you. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is I'm going to go ahead and start cutting the deck in front of you. And I'm trying to see through the camera, so I'm trying to find exactly where it's calling me. And it's calling right there. Okay, so it's kind of off, but that's where it's asking to be called. Okay, and you know what? I lost track of what I'm doing. That happens sometimes, right? Especially when you're doing a lot of videos at once or a lot of readings at once. Okay, so there's that half and there's that half. We're going to cut it. You see, we're cutting it this way. All right, so I'm going to read your 12 cards for 2019 in trimesters, okay? I'm going to read 4 cards, 4 cards, 4 cards, but I'm going to pull all 12 cards out for you. So here we have January 2019, February 2019, March and April, okay? June, July, August, September, October. No, wait. We missed something, didn't we? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Just, my mouth went faster than my hands. October, November, and December. Okay, so here is your 2019 year in advance. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull each card. I'm going to bring it over here so we can zoom in without a glare. Because the way I've got this set up, I end up getting a glare all the time. All right. Okay, let's go. January 2019 for Leo. Okay, Leo, your keyword is movement, and you're going to be looking at this because you guys are really kind of movers at times, aren't you? At times, aren't you? You are looking at this and you're going, I don't see much movement, Maria. I mean, I can see a little bit in the water, in this stream or river, but I'm not seeing a lot of movement. Now, just because we don't see movement doesn't mean there isn't movement happening. We might not see the light breeze that's causing these leaves to sway, right? And especially since it's an instant picture. We're not having a video of it. We can't see what's happening all of the time. We just see what happened that exact instant that we can say this photo was snapped, right? We can't see the movement under the plant life. What kind of animals are moving around? What kind of insects are moving around? What's going on in the root systems to these plants? We can't see that. Just because we don't see movement doesn't mean there is not movement, okay? I do want to call your attention to the little bit of movement of water. This is the only movement we are seeing, which is telling me that you're going to need to let your emotions, because water is an emotion, you need to let your emotions flow. Don't try to hold on to them and let them brew inside of your stomach, Leo. This isn't really something you guys do often anyways, but you really need to be careful with this year, okay? Especially in January. Don't keep holding on to stuff. Don't let it be bottled up inside of you. Let it go. All right? Okay, so let's see what's going on in February. I'm going to pull it over here. Blessings. Okay, so you're not the first zodiac sign that has blessings in February. And I'm really liking this because Oftentimes we have goals. I hate the word resolutions. I don't use it, but this is what we've got, right? We have these ideas, these hopes and dreams of what we want to move and become this year. For you guys, Leo, in February, you're going to start seeing some of these come into like completion, right? You're going to see them manifesting. You're going to see them happening. Now, be grateful for it. Accept the blessing of it happening. Enjoy the rainbow. Know that it's been a lot of hard work, but don't let go of it quite yet, okay? Don't say, okay, well, I've completed it, now it's great, because it might still not be a habit yet. And if you don't have it as a habit, you're going to fall back, okay? So February, accept your blessings, realize that you've got them, enjoy them, be grateful for them, but don't kick back. Keep working on them, okay? All right. March. A vision quest is the key word. Okay, so I'm really, really, really liking that in January you have all of this water and greenness for movement, right? And in March, you've got what looks dead again, right? We had movement even though it didn't really look like it was moving. Now we have a lot of stuff that looks dead. But if you've ever been to the desert, and I live in the desert, so I can totally testify to this, it's not dead. If we were to zoom in, these plants that look like they've died aren't actually dead. They just have a tougher appearance. They just have a darker appearance. They are not as lush as maybe other places, but they're still living. If we were to zoom in closer, probably not necessarily in this picture, but there's insects, there's ants, there's lizards, there are spiders, there are scorpions, there's all kinds of life here, okay? We've got these, what should we call them? Cliffed mountains? Rockscapes? People climb these. And some places it's like real fun. It's hiking and this sort of odds and ends, right? Now, as a vision quest, when you go on a vision quest, it is something that helps you open your eyes to something else, right? It's bringing knowledge to you. The fact that this vision quest was set in the desert, I really like, especially after, I hope I don't get a glare here, especially after we have, remember, even though you don't see the movement, it's still happening, and remember your blessings. Now we have this vision quest to take a deeper look at everything, to look further into everything, to acknowledge and find what you would assume is not there, what's hidden. The rock structures, how I said there are people who climb them, there are people who hike on these. Maybe not particularly these ones that are on the image, but there are. It reminds me, it looks so much to me as a mountain, which would symbolize some hard work, an uphill battle, a climb, right? A hike. But because of the way that these shapes are, these rocks are shaped, it's not your common everyday mountain. It's not your common everyday struggle. And the fact that it's a vision quest again really ties into this, okay? So Leo, in March, you're going to have some issues coming up that at first glance, it's going to look like it's either impossible, it's completely dead, there's just no way to do it. But if you sit back and you seriously look at this and start looking at all of the fine details, you're going to realize there's no problem of you doing it, okay? So in March, when things start looking really crazy and you're really feeling like it's impossible, no, it's not. You can do it. Now we have April. And I love that you guys got the Radiance card because Leo, you are known to be egotistical and you are known to be like the king of the jungle and you have to be first at everything. And I think you guys really compete with Aries a lot on this. And I think if I can remember correctly, Aries got this card too. But you guys, when you're using your sign properly and you're not going into the negative aspect of it where you're really freaking everybody out, you are huge motivators. You guys can get people up off of their butt and they're out there like climbing this stuff with you, right? Even if they didn't want to, even if they've never gone hiking, You can motivate them to move their butts. You can motivate them to do whatever it is pretty much you want them to do if you use the proper way of doing it, right? You know you've got the charisma, you've got the charm, you've got the warmth when you want it to get them to do what they want, right? That's what the sun is all about, this radiance. April is all about convincing people and motivating people to do what you want them to do. All right, okay. Let's move into May. Here is May, okay? Okay, hold on. Pause, just a second. Okay, so Leo, there is so much for your first trimester of the year, right? It's going to be like, I'm not moving, I'm not getting anywhere, everything is impossible, I really hate this, nobody wants to listen to me, it's just storm after storm after storm. But dude, no, hold up, wait a minute, and really look at this, because you've got movement going like crazy. Just because it's not visible to you or anybody else doesn't mean it's not there. You need to stop and actually look at the rainbow. Quit focusing on the storm. Quit focusing on all of the gloominess, because Leo, you can't handle rain usually, right? Focus on that rainbow, okay? Then you're going to have another month of it's like, oh my God, not again. But Leo, you guys have you can do this. As long as you set your mind to it, you can do it, right? Now, if you are in the negative aspect of Leo and you've got that lazy, everybody else does the work for me, March is going to be kind of annoying and frustrating. But then here comes April. And what do? You convince everybody to do what you want them to do. That could be getting you through this situation that feels dead and impossible to you, or it could be getting them to move through it with you, or this could be all old news and you're ready to go into spring like totally head on, right? Charge through it. Okay, May. We have sanctuary for May as the keyword. This man here is leaving his mark on his home, right? And it is a home. We can see he has some storm clouds that are probably dissipating. He's got the sun going down, so it's nighttime. He's got fire here to protect him from any wild animals and to give him warmth. This is his sanctuary, and he's designing his sanctuary to be his sanctuary. So I want you to take a look at your home, at the places you feel safe. Do you like the way it looks? Do you like the way it feels? Do you need to do some new painting? Like, are the walls kind of getting icky and you need to paint some more? Can you toss a couple of pretty pillows, toss pillows and throws, blankets, that sort of stuff around the living room and kind of spruce it up again? Do you need to redecorate all of the knickknacks? Maybe you've got stuff that just, you don't love it anymore, so you're going to get rid of that and bring in something new just to put in a little bit of comfiness in your home, right? This is what May is all about. All about making sure your sanctuary, your home, is actually a place you want to be at. Okay? June. Power is the keyword here. Now take a look at this raging storm. It looks kind of frightening, doesn't it? Leo, when you guys lose your cool, you are frightening. Who gets this? Who around you is constantly has to face your storm? Who around you is constantly storming your anger, constantly storming and weathering your rage? Who is constantly causing you to get angry? Who's constantly making you lose your cool? Now, we've got these crazy waves, and waves are emotion, right? And the water is probably like evaporating, causing the storm, the rainstorm, the lightning, all of this kind of stuff. Who is making you lose control of your emotions? What is making you lose control of your emotions? And is that really, really, really what you want the people around you to be going through? Take a look at these palm trees right here. They're growing in rock, but it looks like they're not going to survive, right? So the people around you, do you want them to be blown around and whipped around in your rage? in your anger? I'm thinking probably not, right? Probably not. There might be one or two that's kind of, I don't care. But then those ones, you need to start working on removing them from your life. Don't keep people in your life that are going to make you have outbursts and explosions of anger that other people have to deal with. Okay? July. For July, we have Vigilance. Okay, so in this card, I'm going to pull a couple of other cards that we've already read, and I'm going to put them right here next to this because I want you to see this. Okay? Let's do these ones first. We have water and mountain ranges, and here we have water and mountain ranges, right? And this card was telling you that even though you don't see anything happening, things are happening. Okay? And then we've got these rock formations that look slightly similar to these rock formations. And this card was telling you look deeper. Just because it looks one way as the big picture does not mean it would look that way if you go into fine detail. So then we have Vigilance. Really, really, really pay attention and watch what is going on, right? Pay attention and really pay attention. Pay attention to what? Pay attention to the movement that you've been having this year. Pay attention to the fine detail that you've been having this year. Is your home your sanctuary? Are people within your home making you insane? Are they making you upset? Are you losing control of your emotions or control of anything for that matter because of people around you? Because you're focusing so much on the big picture that you're not focusing on the tiny little aspects of the big picture. Okay, do you see this? Now, I'm going to stop right here and show you the second trimester for just a minute. What is in your home? How much of a sanctuary is your home? What's causing you to have outbursts within your home? What's causing you to show extreme amounts of power within your home? Who's making you feel insufficient? Who's making you feel weak? Why are you having to bare your teeth all of the time towards these people within your home? Or why are you bringing it home? Okay, this is part of what you're going to need to be vigilant about. Now let's take it one step further. Now we'll just leave it like that. Okay, so here we have August 2019, and we have compassion. Okay, so we've got the heart here, and we've got a bunch of green and what looks like maybe some snow or some raindrops. Snow and raindrops would connect us to the emotional aspect of water, right? Snow, rain is water, which connects us to emotions. The heart connects us to emotions. The green aspect connects us to the heart chakra, which is usually green. And we have a hand that's either giving, right? This hand is giving the heart to this person, or this person is giving the heart to that person. It doesn't matter. It's a give and take. Do you see this? Now, I want you to be compassionate with yourself, because I know quite a few Leos and they really tear into themselves. Anything that's going on that they're not confident with, anything that's going on that they're not happy with, they always assume it's their fault and they really, really tear themselves to shreds. But then also, I know some other Leos who go the complete opposite and they tear everybody around them to shreds. Okay? So, you need to be compassionate when you're talking to people. You need to be compassionate when you're asking people for help. You need to be compassionate when you're telling people to butt the hell out, right? And this is the reason I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you something that's really important, okay? We had radiance here, right? And I was telling you with the radiance card that you can motivate people into doing things that you want them to do. Be compassionate while you're doing that. Don't be mean and cruel. Don't be showing your teeth. Don't force them to do it. Don't make them fearful if they don't do it. They lose you for some reason, right? You want them to do it because they want to do it, because they want to help you, not because they have to, all right? But then throughout your second trimester, where I've been saying what's causing you to be upset, right? Are you becoming upset because you're not being compassionate with yourself? Are you becoming upset because you're feeling attacked by other people? And are you feeling attacked by other people because you've pushed them to the point where they're certain you're going to attack in any moment, so they're trying to attack first? Can any of this be made better if you begin to be compassionate? Leo, you have, in the negative aspect, it's really, really easy for you to become very animalistic, to become very lion-like, and to hurt people without even meaning to do it. So part of your vigilance in July, you're going to be really, really looking at your relationships. How are you treating those people, and how are they treating you? And I want you to become compassionate with them, okay? All right, so here we have September. In September, we have activation. What are we activating in September, Leo? What's going to be happening that you're activating a new part of you? You're activating some new sort of life. Are you activating a new way of thinking, a new spiritual tradition or requirement or study? Are you activating parenthood, maybe? What are you activating in September? Oh, let's just say this for just a second. This isn't going to pertain for all of you, okay? So don't freak out. But remember how I was saying right here that we don't always see what's going on. There's stuff like in the roots that might be going on. And then I just said right here, activating parenthood. Well, if there was a conception at the end of December, very, very early January, there might be a birth here in September, maybe October. Okay. If any of you guys get preggers, please let me know, okay? Because I usually pick up on this really, really quick. So I want to know which one of you Leos get preggers. Alrighty? Okay. So let's say because maybe you just can't get pregnant, or you're a man, or it's just not in your books for this year, right? What other things can you be activating? Look at this figure here. We could say maybe he's Father Winter, right? Because it's September, and he's blowing away warmth. Are you getting ready for the winter months? During the winter months, what do you do? If it's cold outside and it's dark outside and you really can't be doing much of anything, what do you do during the winter months? Do you begin to do internal work, self-reflection work, shadow work? Do you hibernate? Do you start looking at plans for the following year, for 2020? What is it that you're doing? What are you activating? Because September, you're going to have activation going on. So this might be something if, you might want to be actually leaving time open to be working on this activation, okay? Especially throughout the rest of the month or the year. October. Stillness. Okay. I was just saying about like, what do you do when it's cold outside and you can't do anything? If you do reflective work, if you do shadow work, inner child work, whatever you want to call it, you're really going to need to be still for that. And I love that still is coming after you've had so much movement. Okay? Now, while you're being still, you need to still remember to watch all aspects. So let's look at the big picture. Let's look at the little picture. Okay? So when we look at the big picture, it looks kind of like the picture is gloomy, right? Probably we're getting really close to entering into winter just by the gray skies, the gray feeling. We're not seeing fall yet. There's no coloring of the leaves. Nothing is really falling. But it does give that winter-like feeling, doesn't it? And the water is so calm and so still, it looks like it could possibly be ice. Do you see this? Okay, so now let's start looking at the fine detail, at the little detail. Okay, again, we don't see movement. But that doesn't mean the plants aren't doing something. That doesn't mean bugs aren't doing something. So, I'm going to stick with the going into winter idea, right? As you become still for winter, it's very important for you to still watch the fine detail. It's very important for you to still know that even though nothing is moving, it will start moving again, especially for Leo. Okay? Even though it looks cold and gloomy, you guys radiate warmth if you want to. You radiate strength if you want to. You can change the way this picture is looking, but I would really recommend in October for you to just take some time and sit back and just enjoy. Just like meditate and just be peaceful for a little while, okay? Now I want you to look at this. We had your blessings in February, and then aspects of your power coming out in June. October, it's time to be calm and relaxed, okay? Okay, calm and relaxed in October. November, we have a completion of the full moon cycle. The cycle has gone full turn, right? If we go from one full moon to the other full moon, we've had a time where things were going away, it was completely gone, and it started to grow back into fullness. Okay? So what has this year been showing us so far? It looks like things have gone away, but then we have more. And we have to be really, really careful with some stuff. As we grow into our compassion and our activation, we can start being calm again, right? Your year is going to be a cycle, just like the full moon is a cycle. You might have some times where it's like there's nothing there. You might have some times where it's complete fullness and you don't know what to do because there's just so much. Okay? During these times, you still need to remember to watch the fine details. You still need to be paying attention to that. Okay? You might even have some romance coming out in November. And your December card is communication. It's kind of hard for you to be communicating, Leo. Right? People think you're cocky. People think you're mean. People think you like to bare your teeth if you don't get your way. It's hard for you to communicate. But it's very, very important for you to communicate. So that way the people who are most important to you realize that you're not trying to be mean to them. You're not trying to manipulate them. You're not going to bite them at any second that they don't do what you like. I want you to take a look at this for a second. Do you see how this full moon here is almost this full moon here? The moon represents intuition. Okay? So you need to kind of tune into your intuition. The bird is spirituality. You need to use your spiritual intuition. You need to use your intuition to know how to speak to people. And the reason being is you've got the radiance. You have the warmth to have them do what you're asking them to do. But if you do it in the wrong way, they will think that you're being mean and try not to. They'll fight you or they'll do it because they're afraid. But if you do it in the right way, they're going to be more than happy to help out, to do whatever you want. So your communication and your intuition in this aspect is extremely important. Now, it's going to be difficult. Take a look at this man. He went out to some sort of rock formation, some sort of cliff. Take a look at that. You see that? It looks like he might be on the other side of this cliff, doesn't it? So he went out to some sort of rock formation, some sort of cliff. He had to put himself kind of in danger. And you're not going to like that, Leo. I know you're not going to like that. You don't want to be put in danger in order to communicate with people, but it's kind of what's going to have to happen. Okay? So he went out and put himself in danger to try to use his intuition to speak to this bird. Now, that in and of itself is making this even more hard, right? Humans don't speak to birds. Birds don't speak to humans. If you're using a logical mindset, it's kind of like, well, We don't even use the same language. How would that be possible? Because of the intuition, because of the spirituality, we can communicate with birds. It's kind of like how if you've got a cat or a dog, you know what you're saying to your cat and dog and you know what they're replying. It's that sort of a thing, okay? But look at the distance between them. They're not nearby. They're probably getting really close to screaming at each other so they can hear each other. And how likely is that to be coming off as being angry? Okay, so December, especially with the holidays, you're going to have to be putting yourself out on an edge. You're going to have to be really using your intuition about how you're communicating with people, because they're going to see you as being rude. They're going to see you as being cocky. They're going to see you as demanding, manipulating, and that sort of thing. And that's not what you want, right? And I don't know, maybe it is what you want, but I really don't think that's what you want. So, let me try to get this glare to go away a little bit. Sorry about that. Okay, so here is your 2019 year in advance, Leo. You have, although you want the movement, you want to go, 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 you want to start, you want the chase, right? You want to be running and doing. You don't need to be running and doing. And even though you might be running and doing, it might not be what you necessarily need to be running and doing. You might need to stop and actually look at the fine print. You might need to stop and actually look at the smaller aspects. So if we take a lion hunt for just a second and think about that, right? You might be running after the biggest of the prey, biggest of the herd, when really the smallest is your easiest target, and you wouldn't have to use that much energy to catch it, right? Your second trimester is about making sure you and everybody around you are feeling comfortable and safe within your home environment. Making sure that however you're reacting to people in your home environment is not reacting with as much power as you can react with, because that's terrifying. And you're reacting with love. It's making sure that you're still focusing on all of the tiny aspects of the movement you're doing, all of the tiny aspects of what you're trying to create for yourself and for those that are around you. All right? Your third trimester of the year is about making sure everything that you've been working on, and this card, I'm thinking it has to be with actually understanding and activating your first 2 trimesters of the year. Okay? So it's been activated. You understand everything that was happening here, and now you're going to put it to work. And you're going to put it to work in a very calm manner, because otherwise they're going to think that you're being mean. Okay? So Leo, your year has a lot to do with turning in towards yourself and understanding how you react and portray yourself to others and how they understand you. You're going to be looking very, very, very tiny, at very tiny details of how this is happening. All right? Because the people around you are becoming afraid of you, especially from your reactions from 2018. And this isn't what you want, because it's going to leave you alone. And although you love being the head of the pack, you love being the leader of the pack, you need to have the pack, right? Okay, so back to what we were saying in the beginning. This is a general reading for all Leos, so it might not make total sense to you. And that's totally okay, because you're not every single Leo on the face of the earth, right? You are your own Leo. And you might be a Leo with a such and such moon and a such and such rising that also plays into your reading. So make sure you watch your moon rising, your moon sign, and your rising ascendant sign. I will be posting more videos as the week goes on, okay? So, if you loved the way I read, if you loved this reading and you want a specific reading for you only, or maybe you want one for like your child or whatever, you can go to the website and you can purchase your own reading. The website is in the information down below. You can message me and request a special reading. The email address is down below. make sure you hit subscribe up at that corner or down below. I don't know where it's at right now. Make sure you hit subscribe so that way you know any other readings that come out or any other videos that you might be interested that I might post. Okay, like, share, subscribe, all of that wonderful stuff, and I will see you guys soon, I hope. Bye.